Good morning. Your boy Joey J. Ping here, checking in live. RespectMyRegion.com. We're here on the ninth official episode of the New York Cannabis Podcast. Today's episode brought
Yeah.
to you guys by Trees and Extract Consultants. Today, we have a very exciting episode. We have Frankyn of Indi Cannabis, a New York-based cultivation-centric brand for now, indoor cultivators. You got your brother, you got a business partner, family owned, operator, you got a partner in there as well. It's exciting, man. Frankyn, welcome to the show. Good morning / afternoon. How you living, bro?
Pretty good, pretty good. Chilling, grinding. You know how it goes, brother. I didn't know the industry, the legal industry was so like morning and night type energy, but you gotta put in the work to get the work, you know?
Come on, man, bro. You know what I just told my lady over? I was like, bro, it was like, do you know what time it is over on the East Coast? 3 hours ahead. We should have been
Yeah.
up at 5 a.m. trying to reach out and book people for shows and calling these
Yeah.
dispensaries because, man, New Yorkers, it's 24 hours over there,
Oh
man.
no,
If
yeah.
someone needs weed, they can get it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we about that life over here on this side, man. We got like I'm up 3, 4 in the morning checking my emails, making sure, you know what I mean, text messages, making sure I follow up with the people I need to follow up, you know. I used to do
Mm-hmm.
community work. So, I got a lot of like senators and politicians in my phone. So I had to, follow up with them because I'm trying to do something, big and beautiful for my community because I'm from the East New York and Brownsville community, man. So you know how it goes, brother. You got, when you are owner operator, you gotta do it all.
You got to do it all. And one thing that's really exciting about this conversation today is we're going to talk a little bit about your brand. We're going to talk about you, Frankyn, your culture, Dominican, Haitian, New Yorker. Those are
Yes,
all
yes, yes, yes,
overlapping, but they're
yes.
different and similar
So
so
true.
many ways.
Glad you bring it up
Dominicans
like
and
that.
Haitians, and then Dominicans and Haitians. So Dominican and Haitians are different. And then in New York, it's this melting pot of culture, just like how here in LA, you got the Ecuadorians, the Peruvians, the Salvadorians, the
Yeah,
Mexicanos, the
yeah, yeah,
Brazilians. My lady's Costa
yeah.
Rican. There's
Hey,
so much going on, and we're gonna break that down a little bit. Talk about what it's like being you there in New York, what it's like being a brand owner operator. We're gonna talk a little bit about growing fire weed in New York. You guys are an indoor cultivation in New York, so that's got to be a unique situation. Um, We've got some good questions today. But before we get into all that, a big shout out to our sponsor, Trees, number one cannabis ERP software company in cannabis, point of sale analytics data. Our other sponsor today, Extract Consultants, custom formulated terpenes, botanical terpenes, fragrances, flavors, aromas, family owned and operated over 50 years. These are the people that power Respect My Region that allow us to empower the culture. Frankyn, how long have you been building Indi Cannabis? Where did the name come from?
appreciate the. I mean, first off, man, I appreciate you for having us on. Appreciate the love, and I appreciate all my Cali people. Shout out to y'all. You know what I mean. And all my New York community. Appreciate y'all for following us over here in Indie Cannabis. So yeah, Indie Cannabis. So I'm gonna tell you the full story because we haven't gone detail on that.
Let's
So
go.
last 4 or 5 years of my life, I was working within this organization called Universe City. It was a hydroponic, aquaponic farm in the East New York Brownsville community. And it was a really dope. I got to really work with some really dope people and got to really experience some creatives and artists. And we had a space basically. Shout out to Jill and Brittany. Um, and basically, we used that space and we did events out of it. And we started growing lettuce out of there. We were growing, catfish. We were doing tilapia. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Sadly, though, things didn't work out. Just the finances, making a business is hard, man. Being an entrepreneur is a process. So we were successful for a hot minute in the sense of like during COVID, we were able to deliver 3.5 million pounds of food, and that means what I was just saying. But what I mean by that is we had contracts with NYCHA, and we had 9 different sites we were delivering to. We were delivering to the free fridge movement. So like you heard about the free fridge movement. So we were instrumental in providing food to some of those fridges. Shout out to the free fridge movement. Shout out to the volunteers that are doing that work because they're still doing that work. Thank you for your work. Um, but after COVID, we try to get the funding to continue doing that type of work. It just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Things happen. It is what it is. Shout out to the Mela Foundation because they believed in our work and they gave us a $500,000 a grant. They gave us a $500,000 grant, which allowed us to build out our space and half of our space. That allowed us to build half of our space because it's a 5,000 square foot space. So 2,500 square feet of that space is built out.
Wow.
Now, to now, right, is Indi Cannabis 3 4 years ago. I met some really dope people through university. So shout out to my boy SirRoan, shout out to my brother Alexis, who was our farmer or is our farmer and cultivator for this particular project. And we were hustling and bustling, and we were like, "Yo, sooner or later this cannabis application, because we're all legacy people.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
sooner or later this cannabis application is about to come out." And then before the cannabis application came out, one of the things I was doing for my community was I was doing cannabis like workshops with our local council person to try to educate people about the license coming out, right? Because
Absolutely.
I was holding that down in East New York and Brownsville. So before the license came out, we made the decision to, put in an application, put in the work, put in the hours to get to that point. So when the application did come out, last, year and a half ago, 2 years, we put it in the first queue. And the reason why we got the license and we got actually a micro license for clarification. Shout out to Vickiana Reyes from Mega Everett College and Legacy Corps. She
Mm.
was instrumental in us getting that license and many others getting that license. And that's where we're at now. We're blessed to be able to say that we're in about 10 stores. We're doing apes and pre rolls, about to get into vapes. We're a limited batch company, so we're like a boutique, you could say. And then,
Small
blessing
batch,
to be able to
baby.
say,
Come on, Franklin. Small batch
you know what
boutique.
I mean?
Let's
So like
go.
the blessing is that the second batch was so good. I sold out before before things was and now this third batch is gonna be even better, man. So I'm excited. I'm about to, we're in these stores doing the activations, and shout out to all the dispensaries that are supporting us now. So many that to name, so I'm not gonna name them. But I'm just appreciative of them all. So thank you.
I'm looking here at one of these videos. It looks like you guys are at some kind of club or something. Bunch of cool people dancing and whatnot. I won't elaborate
Which
much
one?
on that.
That one?
Shout out
Oh,
to
that one? Oh, that.
Shout out to New York and just the culture there. I just wanted to just throw it that way. But I bring this video up because I'm looking at the strains on this jar. I'm seeing
Yeah,
Pink Gas. I'm seeing
yeah,
Skywalker. What are some of
yeah.
the strains that you're growing? I mean, if the second batch was so fire, the genetics had to have been good to start with, right?
bro. So the first batch was Pink Gas, which was and then that's available at R&R in Bushwick and available at Yerba Buena in
Oh yeah,
Atlantic
that Yerba
Avenue.
Bueno store just opened recently too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yo, fire store, bro, and
yeah.
and R&R fire store. They just opened up not too long ago, so some of our first dispensaries were in, and that's more of a hybrid on on the sativa leaning side.
Mm.
Very very gassy, very strong weed, and then with that Skywalker's in a couple stores, Yerba Buena, Kushmark, shout out to Kushmark, and a couple of others that actually sold out. So like you know what I mean.
So you guys,
Um,
you
yeah,
that. So I come from. I'm out here in Cali. I come from
I
Seattle.
know. Yeah.
Washington has
Oh
not a lot of really good
wow.
OG. Seattle, great
Okay.
weed. Washington, great weed. All the
Mm-hmm.
candies, all the gases, but OG never really permeated that market the same way that
Mm.
it did Southern California and the Bay and
Yeah,
stuff.
that makes
My
sense.
question is that Skywalker kind of dark and funky and
Yo,
musty? Does it kind of smell like
you know your
dried
bud.
up lake water?
You
Like
know your bud,
with that
bro. You know
gas
your
that kind of
bud.
just makes you like, fuck,
That
man. Like,
that's exact. Yo, this particular strain of Skywalker has like some amazing orange hairs and some amazing purple hairs. That's like,
mm,
and you're describing it exactly what it is. It's a very
dark.
darker bud. One of those.
It's
The
not brown, but
No, it's not brown. It's more purple,
it's
purpley,
leaning, yeah,
orangey.
purple and dark. It's like that dark.
Yeah.
It's like if you took Carhartt brown with a really vibrant forest and mixed the two.
Yes. Yes. And then you brought up a good point because now that I want to talk about something, what's important for a dispensary owner to know is like what kind of bud that they're, and this is something like you won't know until time goes on. But
Yeah.
dispensary owners uh are starting to be able to break down to me what their customers is buying. And basically like, obviously usually now it's just a sativa, even though that's a lie, right? Sativas,
Yeah,
indicas,
that's
that's you know what I
scientifically
mean?
irrelevant, right? And all
Yeah,
that.
that ain't yeah, exactly. There's so much more to it. Cannabinoids, there's so much more to it. But what I was saying was, like you just said, like you know your customers are dark, dark leaning cannabis buyers, and then you need more bright weed like orangey, purple. You know what I mean? That's just more brighter, more
Yeah, they
organic.
say New York, you
You know?
guys smoke a lot more sativas than other places. The
Oh
if there
yeah,
was a chart,
it's
like
that.
a bunch of bars or whatever, kind of like
You
the
ain't lying.
sliders on Madden or NBA, the creative players, your guys'
our, our
bar
rating will be high. Our rating will be
sativa
very
would
high.
be
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
high. It'd be crazy compared to
Yeah,
the rest
you
of
ain't
the country.
lying. No, you ain't lying. Yeah, and that's interesting. You bring that up too because you're right. That's exactly what I'm hearing. But like, all that's all not. It's miseducation. I'm gonna say it's not a lot. It's a miseducation. There's so much more. Like one of the things I say about the Skywalker as an example, right? The cannabinoids in that is amazing, and we're
Mm,
very much so the type of people who you're gonna see the THC, the CPD, and the cannabinoids because it's a very well balanced bud. And anything that we're getting and bringing is all legacy grown. It's all black and brown hand growing it,
yeah.
and it's all indoors. And then the third batch that we got, which is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, when I say crazy, it's all soil based. So like from there, you already know what I'm saying. You know, obviously you know about your bud. It's gonna take a
Some
ridiculous.
people love. They feel like they can taste not taste the dirt, like taste the soil, but they feel like they can taste the difference. Like that's what I
Yes,
wanted
they
to
can
say.
taste the difference.
They can taste the
Exactly.
difference between the rock
Yeah.
wool grow mediums. They can taste the difference between the
Yes.
soil and then living
Exactly.
soil, which has the worms and bugs and the microorganisms
Yes.
inside of that soil. Which
Exactly.
soil can be living soil or it can just be regular, not to say regular soil, but curated
No.
still for flower
Curated. Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
growing,
Because you
but
still need to
like
put the
just
nutrients and
grown in a
stuff.
different method than
That's
living
it.
soil organic, for
Exactly.
example. Are you
Yeah.
able to speak on about your guys' facility?
So
Is it
so
what city is it located in the city by? Like, where are
so
you
it's in
located by? Give us some clarity on what the grow's like.
yeah, appreciate you asking. So we're currently in the Bronx, and we're out there. You know, shout out to the folks in the Bronx, holding it down over there. It's still in the
Oh, so you guys got like
not
a warehouse in the Bronx?
yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
dope. I didn't
man.
know they were growing
Yeah.
weed in the cities like that.
Y'all finding out there's a couple of folks down that's doing that, but like it's expensive, bro.
Yeah,
Whatever I'm gonna tell you right
yeah.
now, it's expensive. You know, cultivation alone, you know, it's gonna cost you a good grip, three to 500,000 alone, right? So like
Dang, you guys
I'm
sounds like you guys got a deal because everyone I talk to, they're always up in that 10 to 20 to
millions.
40 million.
Well, yeah, well, let's talk about it. When you have skilled individuals or people who are experienced, you find ways of trying to make it make
Did you
sense,
guys
right?
build it yourself, or did you hire the home? Like, because you're alluding to
We
contractors giving you guys deals, so it's like you
yeah,
got some
basically
homies
is
that
that.
helped out in a big way, or what?
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, contractors who the homies who come off the strength, they're licensed, but they come off the strength. Consultants, brought in consultants who are obviously experts in indoors. Brought those guys in, but a lot of it, like I said before, like to you earlier, man, a lot of it's been our own hands. You know what I mean, or
Yeah.
our community. You know, shout out to the indie community out there who coming up and because we're showing out. Packing these days, packing these pre rolls, and or helping us with the build out.
How cool is that, man? That you guys can call on friends and friends, fam, and fans to potentially be helping in the ecosystem in the business. I mean, that's a real community effort, right? A lot of
Yeah,
people try to keep people
yeah,
separated or silo. They want to act like their brand is just so perfect all the time. When in
yes,
reality, building a brand is ugly sometimes, man.
yeah, man. Look,
It's
I'm not.
tough.
One thing that I'm gonna tell you right now, man. One thing you're gonna learn about us three as you get to meet us in each different podcast. We ain't gatekeepers, man. We gate openers. You know what I mean? And to be a gate opener, what does that mean? Is like, look, my friends want to get in the industry, and like if I got an opportunity to help them get in the industry, then I'm gonna do that, right? Like I want to see you succeed as much as I succeed, and you helping me succeed is only gonna be meaning that you're gonna succeed in something else because your kind heart is willing to help me in this time of startup while we're growing as a business. And then as we grow as a business, you're gonna grow within the industry, and then you're gonna have an opportunity to pass it back to me, and then look how the universe works. That's what karma is, bro. That's
these
what you know what I
people
mean. That's what
these
universe
people
looks
also got
like,
to understand too that it's hard. It's to run a weed business legally without experience is arguably one degree away from impossible.
bro.
1 degree. It
You
doesn't
ain't
matter
lying.
what state it is. It's one
You ain't
degree
lying,
away from
bro.
impossible because
You ain't lying.
the doubters, the haters, the legislation. There
So much,
99
bro.
problems in a bitch ain't what 99 problems in legislation is
That's
entirely the problem.
it's.
Shout out
That
Jay
was a good
Z.
one.
Shout out Jay
We
Z for
got,
that, and also too, I just want to shout out the
yeah, you gotta
strain
put
that
that
I
on a
happened
shirt,
to
bro.
roll
You
up.
gotta put that
I
on a
just
shirt.
happened to roll up some gumbo
Oh, nice. Oh
also
shit.
coming out of
Oh
New
shit.
York and the gumbo fam. Just want to shout out to Luca, to the whole everybody involved ever with Rock Nation. Just wouldn't throw that out there.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so okay, so 99 problems in legislation is entirely the problem was the funny joke I just made, right?
Yes.
And in reality, that's not entirely true, but it is 99% true because the system was not set up with guaranteed success. It wasn't set up
That's
based on
100%.
these other
Yeah.
models. It's
Yeah.
new. It's
Yeah.
all new. And that's
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
we're not set up to know what's going on. We're not set up to
Mm-hmm.
be able to plan and project
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. We have
Yeah.
to adapt. Franklin, what has it like been for you to adapt from a legacy whether it was an operator, we'll call it grower as a legacy role, trappers, the people selling it is a legacy role, the distributors is a
Okay.
legacy role,
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable sharing. What has it
Sure.
been like adapting from legacy in your roles there to being one of the co-owners, partners in this brand, and having to follow different sets of rules and processes?
Great question, man. So for me, like, as a legacy person, I'm great at logistics. I'm gonna leave it there. And getting getting things to point A to point B, making sure that making sure people people give us the respect that we deserve. I'm a 6'3", 280 black man. You know what I mean? So like I look intimidating, is what I'm trying to say. I ain't intimidating
Mm.
'cause I'm a big teddy bear, but you know what it is.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, I thought you said 6'7" for a second. I
Oh,
was like,
nah, nah,
okay,
nah,
that
nah,
was
nah,
the
nah, nah,
weed. That was
nah.
the dyslexia of the weed for a sec. I was like, damn, bro, they are looking at you
Like,
and they are
damn.
intimidated. You big, like
Damn.
six
Man, bro,
seven huge.
where they grow you at? Where they grow you at, bro?
Fuck. Bro, I was just getting my car washed and detailed the other day. I was in the room. This guy Paul Pierce started talking shit to me and
Oh
gassing
shit.
me up for buying corn nuts. I recognize his voice because I watch his podcast and listen to him on
Yeah.
TV. I looked up and this guy was talking shit to me about getting Grange corn nuts out of nowhere. He
Paul Pierce
was
would
just
be that
fucking
guy.
tall as shit,
Paul
six
Pierce would be
foot
that guy.
seven.
Yo, no, 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 no. People don't be understanding how tall. But I met fucking Dominique Wilkins and David Robinson. You know how tall those gentlemen are. I got a picture with them, and my tall ass was not tall at
Bro,
that
they
point.
said Dominique Wilkins could dunk on a 13-foot rim.
Probably, probably. I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. And
3
David
feet
Robinson is
longer.
taller than him. Imagine, bro. I was like, damn. Are you serious?
Frank, we got to circle back. This gumbo got me high. I'm over here talking about meeting Paul Pierce, talking shit to me about corn nuts. You took pictures with Dominique Wilkins and David Robinson. This is what weed does. Weed gets creative. Talk to me about your first time smoking weed. How did you get into weed, bro? Because you seem like a fun individual. We seem like we could talk some shit. What was it like for you those first couple times smoking weed? How did you get into all this shit?
That's a good question, man. At 15 was my first time smoking weed. I don't
Mm.
recommend it. Right? I don't
Not
recommend
at
it, but
15, maybe.
not at 15, honey. But you're a kid from the hood, you a kid from the streets. You introduced to something, and you want to try something, and you around your good cousins, and it is what it is. It was one of those funny ass one experiences, bro. I'm gonna tell you. All right, this is a funny ass story. So my first weed experience, I smoked 12 L's. This is my
Okay.
first weed experience,
Was this
and
420 or something?
this no. It was just a regular salad, and we smoked 12 L's, and it's New York, bro. And we smoked a Gotti. You know what a Gotti is?
I believe I know what he got. Isn't that the extendo?
Oh, my G, you had a Dutch before?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine a Dutch stuffed with all weed.
Okay.
That is a Gotti. So that's
Okay.
like you basically taking a cigar of weed, and you passing it around amongst, like, it was 12 of us. So each of us had a
Yeah.
blunt already,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then we had the Gotti. It was. I would recommend it. I recommend it. It's a good
Nah, I
time.
mean, I came up smoking blunts, bro. West Coast is the Swisher Coast. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yes.
I came up smoking blunts solely weed
You
only,
already know.
flavored blueberry
Yeah,
grape. I was on the flavors when I was young, and then I got hooked on the originals and the silvers. I got into
got it.
Dutchies. My business partner Mitch he was the one that told me about the Gotti. I'm pretty sure because Mitch
Okay.
was the one. Mitch would roll a blunt inside out. He would roll it inside out. I watched.
Exactly.
I watched
Oh.
I watched him do a bunch of different types of backwoods. Now the
Oh
grabba's
yeah.
everywhere.
That's
Are you?
that
Did you
way.
convert to the grabas?
Life. Grabba's life out here
Yeah,
in New
grabba's
York,
life. Of
bro.
course. I
Like,
see. You see
literally,
me. I'm
you don't
rolling up
get.
joints.
Yeah.
I'm on the joint life now, just because, bro. It got to the
No, that's
point
understandable, bro.
when COVID hit. I was smoking 8 to 11 blunts a day, Swishers. I had a box of
Oh
sweets, and
son.
I was buying a pound of Marathon OG. R.I.P. Nip.
Oh shit. Wow.
For real, I would go down to the people that grow the Marathon. I'd buy a pea, and I was living good. I was smoking my favorite rapper's weed, living in
Mm.
L.A. Swishers on the front steps. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Mm-hmm.
was everything I could want. And
Right.
problem was COVID hit, and then all of a sudden I was hacking up a lung, and I just had to
Yeah.
cut out the Swishers.
No, that's
Um,
understandable. And then those things have some of those things have so much like added stuff or added
mhm.
chemicals in some of them. So like, because they obviously they're flavored, right? Like, how you getting
What's
that
the
flavor? You
best
know?
way to smoke some indie cannabis, in your opinion? Is it through
I
the
mean,
bong? Is it through the pipe? Is it the
that's a good
big
question.
grabber? Are we rolling Gottis?
Question.
What's the best way to smoke some
That's a good
indie
question.
bud, bro?
I would say by itself. You know, one of the things I can say about our bud is balance, man. I'm sorry, my dog is like on me right now. My fault, bro. My dog is over here. Come on, bro. Chill,
Okay, well,
chill.
call
Oh,
cameo. There we
come on, cameo,
go. There we
cameo. All right,
go.
you good, buddy? You good, buddy? All right, cool. So I can't, Um, so like indie cannabis, the one thing about people are gonna find about our weed is it's well balanced. So it's not just the THC, even though it's all above 25% THC. All of it has good CBD in it, but it's the cannabinoids. It's a very balanced weed. So like we had Darth Vader as an example. That one was like at 31. That's an indica. That's gonna put you on your ass, right? And then you got the Skywalker, like I was telling you before, and the Skywalker is like, it was like 28
That
percent.
shit gonna put you on your ass too.
That's just gonna put you on there. But no, but that's the funny part. See, that's what I'm trying to say. That one was more well balanced, had more CBD in it, and so the cannabinoids was a little bit more like balanced, and which led to it like being an upbeat high and like being a high that I could just walk around and chill. And then we got some this other stuff. This next batch we're about to deliver to like B Leaf. We're about to deliver to OC Dispensary. We're
Mhm.
about to deliver to what it Token. We're about to deliver to Cannabis Realm. We're about to deliver to again to Yerba Buena. We're about to potentially deliver to R&R. We're about to deliver to Culture House. So like this next batch, I'm gonna throw you out. I'm gonna throw some strains out for you. Mimosa, Sour
Mhm.
Diesel. I got the Oreos. I got the blue coffee. I don't know if you've ever heard about that one.
That
Blue
sounds
coffee.
fire.
I got the blue coffee. I got the secret formula that's coming to Emerald. Only at the Emerald. Secret formula. And so those are some of the ones that is about to come out. And Sour Runts is about to come out from us for this
Oh,
next
please
strain.
hit me with that
Oh,
sour runs. I
I
need
got you
that.
on that one, bro. You already know. That's
I'm
all you,
I'm
bro.
pulling. I gotta find you as soon as I get out there. I need that. I love. You said that blue coffee. That blue coffee stands out to me in a big way. I
It smells like
love.
coffee, bro. It
I
smells
love
like
blue.
fucking
Just
coffee.
blue strains add some form of
Mm.
electricity to the
Yeah,
strains
I
that
see what
they're
you're saying.
crossed with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
It's
that
like
and
it's
that and
like
that you can tell
you
by
ever
the
had a you guys have the Long Island iced tea, right?
yeah,
Then you
yeah,
got
yeah,
the
yeah.
Adios motherfucker, right? That's another popular
What
drink,
is that?
right? That shit.
Adios, motherfucker. No,
The
what is that?
AMF. Don't sleep on the AMF. But I'll tell you this: the reason I bring up the AMF is because I've had the sweet tea from Cookies, which is like a Jackie lemony,
Mm.
sativa cross. So it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
uplifting and kind of got your head high and fucked up, like one of
Mm-hmm.
those alcoholic beverages. The Cookies AMF similarly had
Mm.
this tropicalness to it that an AMF would. And then
Mm-hmm.
this is where I go into like with you guys, man. Like I love anything that has that a blue mosa was one of the best rosins I dabbed this last
Oh,
year. Crazy shout
good.
out
Yeah.
that came
Blue
out of
Dream.
bro, that
Blue
came out of
Dream has been really
Missouri
good.
of all places.
No, really?
Missouri got gas, bro.
Shout out to my Missouri folk. Y'all got some.
Missouri
I heard.
got
I heard.
gas
I
out
heard
there. They got
Oklahoma. I heard
fired.
Oklahoma got some crazy shit too, yo. I heard
Oklahoma
they
got
out there
fired, Missouri got
strong.
fired, which means that Texas got fired
Oh, you already know.
just
Yeah,
by
they do it big
nature
in
now.
Texas, honey. Come on, man. They do it big
Florida
in
still
Texas.
has mids except for Jungle Boys and the groups
Mm.
that are signed with the Flowery. New York, you guys
Mm.
got some fire. Do you smoke other brands weed too?
Of course, man. Come on, bro. Come on. I'm like, I
Not
appreciate.
everybody does. A lot of rappers only
Nah,
listen to
nah,
their
man.
own music. Some artists
Yeah,
only listen to
yeah,
their
that's
shit.
true.
You know what
No,
I'm
you true.
saying?
That's true. Good point. What it is also like, I don't really call anybody competition. I call it more like, it's part of the culture, bro. It's like, how am I gonna expect you to smoke my stuff if I ain't buying your stuff? It's reciprocity, right? Like, You know what I mean? Like
What
I'm
are
a
you
very
guys
type of
priced
person.
at compared to, like, I know that Runts brand in New York was the most consistent slash most often recommended to me when I asked for best
Interesting.
of the best.
Really? Okay.
Well, they were in the most locations. That's why.
Ah, got it,
So
got it,
when
got it,
we
got it.
went to all these banger big stores that had been talked about all the time and blah blah blah, it was like they were in all of them.
Hmm.
How do you guys compare, in your opinion, to maybe their group or some of these other groups that are out there in that higher end, top shelf, maybe boutique category? Because there's not a lot of boutique high end growers there yet. They're
You ain't
still
lying.
coming
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely been. It's definitely a period where a lot of you're gonna see a lot more popping up probably by the end of this year. I'm hearing a lot more about micros coming out. So it's gonna. It's what they call. We can't necessarily call it this, but we call it craft bud or boutique bud, small batch or limited batch. Different organizations use different words.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. I usually only mostly smoke my stuff. You ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna bull snap you, but I always smoke other people's stuff to like kind of like I think smoking your stuff only is gonna limit your palate. And
Hmm.
as a smoker, you already have a limited palate because I'm a pothead, right? So like I gotta make sure my palate continues to expand or doesn't get
Of
limited based
course.
upon me smoking my only weed. So that's that part. But to compare my weed to other people's weed, bro, that's why I'm in 10 stores. That's why I'm in 15, about to be in 15 stores. People are calling me, you know what I mean? Because the weed's so good. It's so well balanced. It's indoors.
And
It's
you can
craft.
only be in
And
so
hold on,
many
let me
because of
finish. Hold on.
your
The
scale,
last thing
right?
was I'm one of the few black and brown owner brands that you gonna have out here.
Yeah,
There's not many of us. So
that
what
part.
I'm
You're
trying to
right.
say is I'm one of the few black and brown
Got us.
owner and operators that is a brand. Most of black and brown people, sadly to say, is just dispensaries, and I hope to see
Mm.
a lot more black and brown people as brands. But I only see a handful right now, if that. You know what I mean?
What? How important is that jar appeal for you guys when it comes to your guys' brand? That's one of the questions I have down here. Is I saw
Oh,
it's a jar.
interesting.
It's not in a bag. There's a lot of bags out there. It's
No,
a bag
yeah,
driven world. But you guys went with the
good point.
jar. You guys went
Yeah.
with this color coordination or maybe color
Oh yeah, yeah,
specific
yeah.
strains.
The
Talk
hemp
to me a
pattern.
little bit about the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
branding and some of those decisions there.
So shout out to Joanna from 718 Design. She's our brand specialist and marketing specialist. And you know, our team is amazing, man. My brother, he's an artist. He comes up from murals. So Rowan has been in the entertainment industry before. So
Amazing.
like a lot of our branding or a lot of our marketing is coming from that energy, right? From that
Mhm.
marketing. And then I got also a background in marketing and entertainment industry. So that's where a lot of the concepts of our and glass, glass. The reason why we chose glass was because it's you can see the bud, right? We want people to admire it, appreciate it, not just smell it, because that's the hard part about the nowadays, right? You cannot even smell the weed when you're there unless someone has a bud bar, right? So that's
Right.
that's one of the hard things. And two is actually experience it. I have a hard time for people that want to smell the weed, see the weed, and then not smoke the weed, and then have an opinion about the weed. That's not accurate to me. So going back to packaging though, the packaging to me, I feel like is so important because that's the first thing that the customer is gonna see. So that's why our colors are moody. One of the things that we as a brand that is important to us is that we want to make sure that people that are the plumbers or the contractors or the doctors or the nurses or the people the first responders, the people who aren't necessarily always represented in these images that are out there within the cannabis industry currently in New York, uh, isn't being shelled in that manner, right? We all smokers, and it's important for us to be able to, show up and show out. So we want it as our marketing or as our branding. That's how we're gonna approach things. That's how we're looking at things. And then just to close this off, we're at glass jars right now, but this third batch, this new packaging that we're going, it's more eco-friendly because
Mm.
we're mindful that glass jars is one of the number one, if not number two, uneco-friendly thing. It's a one-use jar. You cannot reuse it, and then we're not recycling it. That's a problem, bro. That's a
Yeah.
problem for our Mother Earth. That's a problem for us brands, and then we're not considering these things as
And they
brands.
take up
It's
more
all of us,
space.
and they take up so much space. So like, not I'm not knocking whoever. You got to do what you got to do, right? You got to do what you got to do. But as we grow, we realize that as we're growing, and from the beginning, we've always said we want to be eco-friendly. We
Hmm.
come from, I told you earlier, we come from the community space. We come from a space of one, I worked at schools. I help kids, educate kids on social and emotional work. My brother helps kids educate on hydroponics and community farming. And, my boy SirRoan, grew microgreens. So we about that life. We about that life. We've been about that life. So now it's like, how do we transition it into the cannabis life? By not adding on to the waste of this world by doing single-use glass jars. And if we do that, then
Oh,
how are we gonna make sure that we're not being part of the problem but part of the solution? So even if we stick with the glass jars, then we're gonna try to figure out how we can make sure it gets recycled, and how do we get an incentive program to get people to recycle it. And then as we move into the tin jars, because we're going to tin jars here, that's the next transition for us. That's the next level.
lighter, more eco-friendly.
Uh,
There's no plastic there in terms
Hello.
of the. Oh yeah, what's good? Can you hear me? Okay. Hold up. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, everybody? We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. This is a good time for me to pivot, though, and shout out to our sponsor. Our sponsor today is two companies. Big shout out to Trees. Number one, visit trees.io. That's treez.io to learn more how to grow your revenue. This goes out to all of our cannabis retailers out there. New York, if you guys are having any issues, 420 is coming up. If you guys are worried about your downtime, if you're having any issues at all, Trees is great at point of sale, e-commerce, analytics, and they offer white glove service to help you both navigate any issues and also strategize. They've been our partners for 3 years on a variety of things, and they're a few months into powering our podcast network, and we rock with them because we've seen them solve problems for actual dispensaries that I have relationships and that I know personally with. So big shout out
Nice.
to Trees. That's my cosign, my sponsor. Number one, this episode is also powered by Extract Consultants. Be sure to tap into Extract Consultants or just hit me direct if you guys need custom formulated terpenes, if you guys want uh, just some really incredible flavors, fragrances, aromas, things like that. Vape companies, edibles, beverages, hemp THA, you name it, they'll do it. They will literally help you guys bring a strain back to life in terms of taking it from a strain COA formulation into something that's maybe botanical or even cannabis drive. They have a variety of options there for you guys. So big shout out to our two sponsors. Now, Franklin, we
Shout
just
out to
lost
them.
you for a second. I appreciate you coming
Yeah,
back.
of
You were
course.
you were going in uh, there, but
I was passing the
I
person.
lost you a couple different times there, so it was
Okay.
hard towards the end.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and revisit that last few sentences you were saying?
So yeah, so what I was saying was we come from the community space. So because we come from the community space, we have those. We look to have those same ideologies in our cannabis brand.
Hmm.
So like in the glass jar, we're in the glass jars right now. We're moving on to tin jars. What I was saying was glass jars, single use is one or two of the biggest weight pollutions out here because it's only single use. It cannot be
Yeah,
reused. We're moving to and then if we stick to the glass jars for a part of our business, because we had to have multiple parts of our business. If we stick to glass jars for part of our business, then we're gonna do a recycle program to ensure that those gets recycled.
let's
But as we
go.
transition, into these tin jars, right, it's gonna be embossed. It's gonna be. I can't wait. I can't wait to show y'all. I'm just dropping a little bit of gems so y'all be on the lookout for it. Because
Be
I'm
on the
excited
lookout,
for it.
man. We got to be
Yeah.
on the lookout. We got a question here today from LinkedIn. Benjamin Calvin Richardson. Franklin, what's the name of your farm? Indi Cannabis.
You got it.
INDI Cannabis.
Yes,
Ask
yes.
for it, look for it. Brooklyn is 10 to 15 stores at any given moment around that area, that sounds like.
Yep.
Make sure you
Yep.
guys tap in there. Yerba Buena is a new store they carry. They just opened up. I don't know enough other dispensary names out there because I don't live there to remember
I,
every
I
store. But what
I
are some
got you.
other ones, real quick? What are some
Sure,
other
I
ones?
got you. So shout out to B Leaf, Mike at B Leaf, the doer. I call him the doer because my man's always doing. So shout out to B Leaf. So we'll be in B Leaf in Brooklyn. We'll be in B Leaf in Long Island.
Let's go.
Yerba Buena, OC Dispensary. Shout out to Omar at OC Dispensary. Shout out to Cushmart, Jay from Cushmart. I appreciate you, King. Shout out to R&R Dispensary over there in Bushwick. They're in the Bushwick Ridgewood area. Shout out to Token, that's in the Queens area. We're about to be there. Shout out to Cannabis Realm. We're about to be there soon in White Plains. Yeah, I said that. White Plains. We're coming to you, White Plains.
Let's
Shout
go.
out to shout out to Culture House. So we'll be in Manhattan very soon. So for those Manhattan folks that have been following us, we'll be in Manhattan very very soon. Um, and then shout out to a couple more who is out here supporting us, man. Because there's others who didn't make a reorder, but they're still friends and they're still family. And, shout out to them too. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for it. For those of you that are interested in following us, you can go to www.indie slash, and when I mean slash, I mean the slash, not the bottom thing, the middle thing.
No,
Uh,
that's a hyphen. Oh, we lost him
fin,
again.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's Indie hyphen cannabis. Indie hyphen cannabis. So you guys, I'll pull it up here for you guys here in a second, so you guys can check it out. We'll bring him back on again.
Yeah. So it's a
It's
hyphen.
indie hyphen cannabis, and then their Instagram.
Dot com.
I got it over
Yeah.
here as well. Indie
Yeah.
Canny,
Yep. Indie Canny.
INDICANNI, Indie Canny on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
And then mine personally is Free Mind Fam. Free Mind Fam. Those are literally my initials. Fam. 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 So Free Mind Fam. It's a black men's group who shout out to Mastermind Connect for helping me get to the person I am today. They gave me the name Free Love Frank. I switched to Free Love Fam.
mm.
Because I'm a person who loves to create family and create community.
Free love fan, man. You guys, it's been great to chat with you today and get to learn about you, the brand, hear a little bit about New York, the story, get a better get some better visibility on your partners. Well, I'm excited to chat with them.
Yeah.
Now, you are in New York. Are you a sports guy too? You guys
Of
see?
course, bro.
You watched the game?
Jeez.
Yes, you guys watched that overtime game yesterday?
Yo, I didn't get this. Yo, I was tight, bro. I was making
I
instant
turned it on with
pre-rolls.
a
I was like,
minute 15 left.
yo, tell me about this. Tell me, because I didn't even see the highlights yet.
Turned
What
on with a
happened?
minute 15 left. We man, it was crazy, man. Boston had Kerstad Porzingis guarding Jalen Brunson towards the end of the
What?
game just because the difference. They started putting long ass guys on him. He started jacking
Smart.
up
They
threes.
smart. They
They
smart.
ended up.
Wait, that's not smart. Why was
I
he jacking
forget
up threes
who.
for?
It was dope, man. The Knicks, they were going back and forth, and then this guy, motherfucking Jason Tatum, hit a step back 3-pointer to tie and send it overtime.
Of
It
course. Of
was
course,
dope. I mean,
man.
we
They
want
got
more
so much
basketball.
disrespect for the man. Like he's a
He's
silent
nice.
killer, bro. He's a silent killer. He ain't gotta have the personality of a Kobe. He ain't gotta have a personality of a Michael
I
Jordan.
know that's my
Bro, you
dislike
can
for him is
like
I just don't like his energy. Like I even like T Mac's lazy swag more than Jason Tatum's game.
I mean,
But
no. Jalen Brown got that little hood in him. I see what you're talking about. Jalen Brown. I mean, you can tell. Tatum got a little bit more conservative energy, but those are the ones you want to be careful from, fam. The
he's
ones
just
that are the
good.
quiet ones are the
He's just
dangerous
good.
ones. I'm just saying. I'm one of those quiet ones. So I'm just saying.
It was a good game, man. It was a good game.
That's
He
what's
did
up.
his thing to set it. We
That's
always
what's up.
when the good teams are playing, we always want to see more basketball. We always want to see more game. Overtime's always wonderful. Um, for you guys in indie cannabis, uh, do you guys get involved with different types of events? You guys do fashion, music. You guys gonna get involved in sports? What kind of stuff are you guys
I,
currently involved? Where can people
I'm
meet with you guys at?
I'm so happy you brought it up because, funny enough, my best friend just walked in. I had to tell him that I'm on a podcast right quick. So shout out to him. Shout out to Donovan McCoy, also Sublime Network. So we're gonna be working with Sublime Network. Who's Don is a amazing curator, an experienced curator. And then so the good part about having a micro, bro, is that we're able to do these pop-ups. And when I mean pop-ups, I'm talking about 29 days worth of programming. We could pop up at your location and we could rock out. You know what I mean? So like, yes, exactly. So, imagine wellness days. So we have yoga, sound baths. So we about that sound bath life. You know, Dawn wants to do photo shoots where we're captivating creatives in there and giving them opportunity to taste our brand and be part of our brand. Yeah, fashion shows. Definitely gonna be doing some fashion shows in there in those 29 days. We're gonna have aromatherapy sessions, or
So you're allotted. Is it 29 days a year or a month
20, no 29 days in the within the month. I
within the
can I
month?
can rent the space. I can pop up at that space, and
And
for
you can
29
sell
days, I can run
cannabis at it?
programming. Huh?
And can you sell cannabis at that with that license?
Yeah, that's the good part about being a micro. I'm allowed to pop up, and and then as a pop up, I'm allowed to sell the cannabis there. And I can sell, the eighths of pre rolls. Will be by that time we'll have beverages. We'll have some edibles. We'll have vapes. So like
So when you
that's
pop
literally
up
upcoming.
when you pop up your vertical, and so you're,
You get
is
it.
there like a size restriction? Do you have to be a certain size of a
So
company? How does that
that's
look
a
like
great
for you guys?
question. So the hard part about a micro, the hard part about a micro is our canopy is maxed out at 3,500. That's the hard part about it. So that's why they give you the processing, right? That's why they give you the 500 that I can process myself, 1,700 I can process for somebody else. You know what I mean? And then I think there's another 1,600, but I'm gonna let Rowan and Alexis talk about that. And then there's a 3,500 square feet that we're allowed to canopy to actually use to grow. And then if we wanted to do some sort of greenhouse or add some sunlight, you know what I mean? So some sunlight, then we can go up to 5,000.
Wow.
But so like there's goods and there's bit issues with the
Yeah, but
micros, and I.
you're able to run. Oh,
Well, yeah, I don't know what. Yeah,
you're able to run a profitable business though, as long as you
yeah,
guys manage that, and then you
get
figure
it.
out, the projections and the products, and creating
Exactly.
vapes and creating
Yeah,
edible other
yeah.
items. It opens up
Stuff
it.
that has good stuff that
I,
has good better
well,
margins
they
is
always
kind of
say
what
that
you're talking about too.
the cost per square foot of the business or something
You get
starts
it.
dropping when you start
Exactly.
creating more products, kind of thing.
You get it. Yeah, exactly. So that's why apes and pre rolls started off right. Like we went bought some weight, started with apes and pre rolls, get into stores, get the brand on, let people know who we are. But the
Now you're a
bigger
couple
goal.
rounds into harvest. Now you're
Yeah,
harvesting your
exactly,
numbers.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But the bigger goal is creating the community. It's creating the lifestyle. Like it's this, like I just said to you earlier, that we aren't just people in the hood or people who love hip hop or people who love rap. We aren't just that. We are so much more. We are people who on a daily
Sound
basis go to
baths.
yeah, sound baths. I like sound baths. We go to bathhouse. We're social workers. We're like I said, plumbers. We're carpenters. I'm trying to get my dad, who's a 60-year-old Dominican man who just Dominican Haitian man who just acknowledges blackness, to drink beverages, cannabis beverages and edibles, so he can have better sleep. You know what I mean? Like and I speak Spanish, so like some of the events we're gonna have is gonna be in Spanish. So like there's so much diversity that what I'm trying to say is it's so important to stop putting ourselves in boxes when
Absolutely.
black and brown folk aren't in boxes. We're unlimited. We're so many. Like literally, you say you put Latin, you put someone in a Latin box, then they're in a box. But there's your, like you said earlier, right? There's your Mexicans, your Ecuadorians, you know what I mean? So like we're so much more
New
diverse than
York, we
the
can't forget the
you
Puerto
know.
Ricans. We haven't mentioned them. We haven't
Oh, my
shouted out
Puerto
any Puerto
Rican
Ricans
fam!
today.
You ain't lying. Yeah,
Come
you ain't lying.
on.
Exactly. Yeah, and then the reason why I identify as a Dominican and Haitian is because I want to bring the island of Haiti, Ayti, before the concept of Hispaniola or Santo Domingo. Before that was Haiti. The original name was Haiti. The indigenous people came the Haiti. So for clarity purposes, my people, we were always one island. We are still one island, and will always be one island. It is the colonizer who chose to divide us, and it's the colonizer who can choose to divide us if we choose that. So, like, those are the examples when I'm saying the energy you're gonna get in the room. You're gonna be in a room of a black and brown professionals and people who also enjoy cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, it's passion.
Yeah,
It's knowledge and it's experience and it's wisdom. And all of those things transcend wherever people are from. It's just
exactly.
something that you have through understanding in life, right?
I say, yeah.
And man, and it's inspiring because that
Thanks.
can inspire change, that can
Yeah,
inspire
I hope
progress, that
so.
can inspire more greatness, right? Now, Franklin, we're getting towards the episode. I always like to end with two questions. My last one's going to be giving you the floor. I like to do that with every guest, just let you talk about something or promote something or whatever it is, your thing. But one of my favorite things is music, sports, food, culture, all these different things, right? So if you guys, Indie Cannabis, if you guys were going to throw maybe some kind of festival, who
I,
would you
I,
who would
oh.
you book for the music artist? 3 days, so three headliners. And
Okay.
what would the entertainment be outside of the music stuff? Would there be like a weed garden, like a beer
Okay,
garden, weed garden? Are we
okay.
talking food? Are you gonna have 100 food trucks? What are your thoughts on what would be the Indie Cannabis Festival experience? What would that be like?
You've been asking some great questions, bro. I appreciate you and the good, great question answers don't get appreciated enough.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you,
So
bro.
I
Appreciate you.
appreciate you on that one, brother. So as far as a festival go, as far as something that of like what would a 3 day thing look for us or
Because
experience like that look for
you
us?
have event experience. So what would be the
Exactly.
ultimate Indie Cannabis event experience be like?
So I would say like because I'm Dominican and Haitian, I mess with Afro Latino mixes,
Mm.
bro. So
Hmm.
like I'm a Afro Dominicano type of dude. I'm a black coffee type of dude. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
give me like some Afro Dominicano, give me some black coffee on that same day where like I'm introducing the black and brown folk that mess with black coffee to the Afro Dominicano folk who like are like the traditional the merengue but the like the the mixed merengue, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I like that. That'd be one day for me. And then the next day, I'm and then some of the vendors that would be there would be like body paint. We got body painters. My brother's a body painter, or used to be a body painter. We got like I said, Sublime Network. So we'll have maybe like carnival theme. You know what I mean? So ladies and
Hmm.
gentlemen, in their wings. You know what I mean? With the whole carnival theme. That's gonna be led by
Yes.
Sublime Network. And what else is gonna be there? Yeah, like you said, food vendors, mom and pop shops. So we want to make sure people get fed and get healthy.
If you were only
Infused.
gonna have three like if you like, let's just say hypothetically, the state was like, okay, cool, brands can pop up, and Indy, you're throwing this event, cool. You guys can have three of your most popular products legally there for sale. Which
Okay.
I know under your micro license, right?
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
whatever. Let's just say
yeah.
they only let you have three
Let's
hypothetically.
just
What
say,
would
yeah.
those three banger products you would bring be? Like
As
what's your heat? What's your best of the best you would bring to this?
as far as our heat right now, I mean the stuff that I have right now, that blue coffee is crazy. That blue coffee, I'm gonna tell you right now,
Damn,
people are
blue
gonna
coffee for black
yeah,
coffee's performance.
yeah, 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 exactly. You know what I mean? So, because it's not in these streets. That secret formula, again, I never heard secret formula. The taste of secret formula is ridiculous. Those are the things that I got available right now that's gonna be in stores soon. But the stuff I got on the side, bro, I got some Ice Age, I got some Slush Mints, I got some gelato, I think it's called. No, GELLO, something
Mm,
like that. And when those come out, and then what it's gonna be, so and then like you were saying before, in these events that festival you were talking about, we'll have beverages, we'll have infused
yeah,
beverages, we'll
yeah,
have our vapes, you know what I mean? But as far as flower goes, as far as like quality flower, those are
yeah.
some of those exclusively named.
Oh no, we lost them again. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Yep, we got to come back. Everybody, this is one of the funnest episodes we've done in a long time. Let me bring this guy Franklin back.
Yeah, nah, of
Here
course,
we
bro.
go.
My fault. You know, people be calling me, bro. You know
No,
this.
you
You know
chilling.
this. For the
At
yeah,
least you're quick to figure it out and come back.
yeah. I hang up. I'm gonna call you back. So yeah, so those are the new strains that I would have people like get to see. So you want to experience this? Go experience those. Go experience Indian cannabis, some of those strains, and then be ready for the next strain and be ready for the festival. The festival's actually coming soon.
Let's go, man. Events coming soon. More events and more community centric experiences for y'all to be a part of.
Yeah.
Indie Cannabis in the building today. Franklin, one of the three partners and co-founders of this company.
Oh,
They're
there's a
in
fourth.
Brooklyn.
There's a fourth, but I can't shout him out. But
There's a fourth,
appreciate
but
him.
we can shout him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's all he
exactly.
he gonna get today as the ghost partner. And dope, man, representing Brooklyn in a big way. I think it's super cool. You guys are legacy to legal New
Yep.
York City cannabis. For anybody watching, anybody interested in supporting a small craft operator, black owned, Latino owned, just diversity, multiculturally owned. It's just these are the things that we care about. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that people should care about. Choose to support the right companies. Put your dollars where your passions lie, we're trying to promote this. We want to create awareness for this. And so for those of you guys that we encourage you to go do that, man, it's exciting. I appreciate you guys. Big shout out to those of you guys watching. It means a lot. Big shout out to our two sponsors today, Trees and also Extract Consultants. And big shout out to Indi Cannabis, our guest. Franklin, thank you again, man. The
Appreciate you, man.
floor is yours to talk about whatever you would like before we get you on out of here.
All right, man. So again, my name is Franklin Alejandro Mena. I just want to shout out to my peoples, my Dominican and Haitian people. I just want to shout out my mom, my dad for helping me get here, my sister, my brother. Again, I'm getting emotional because we're at this moment, at this pivotal moment, y'all, where if we don't come together as black and brown owners or as a community, because if you don't have to be black and brown to be part of this community, I'm not saying that. I will never say that. That's not who I am. But what I'm trying to say is black and brown people, though, doesn't mean that we not or shouldn't come together and do group economics. And as we grow this business, there's a reflection of the bigger vision, right? This vision that we have in this cannabis, in this with this cannabis business, gives us an opportunity to do the things that we've said that we wanted to do, like throw these events, throw these opportunities, throw these lifestyle things that we've been a part of most of our lives, but we never had the funding for. Now we got the funding for it. Now we got the opportunity for it. Now we got a product that we can actually put our backs to, that I believe in, my partners believe in. The weed is fucking solid. So come and support us. But not only support us, but actually like be a part of the movement. Because there's a movement we're creating. And that motion is coming from me right now is coming from the years I put in. The years, man. And I'm grateful for them years because it got me to this moment. But guess what? I'm gonna be here for a whole bunch of more years, I hope, and I'm God willing. And I know I will, to be able to see people succeed. And I hope I can help you succeed. But for now, help us succeed. Help us make this movement happen. I shout out to everyone out there who's been helping us so far. So many people to be named, but you know who you are, and I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to continue building this community with you. Look out for us as we continue building this business. Appreciate you.
Come on, man, Franklin here with the passion, with the quality cannabis to back it as well. Because sometimes in this
Yeah,
retail
yeah,
world, these
yeah,
people
yeah.
they can
You
be
ain't
like, man,
lying.
it's a great story. We great. We're relatable. Great. We look like this. Great. We believe in the same things, but the weed's got to sell too, right? And so we appreciate that fact that it's good cannabis, if not great cannabis, at a great price. It's black owned. It's diversity, multiculturally owned. That you guys are for legacy to legal. You guys have a lot of good things and a lot of great experience that helps these brands and these retailers ultimately create a good relationship and hopefully get some movement going on. You're saying so. Anybody that's
Thank
watching,
you, bro.
indie-cannabis.com, Indi Canny, INDICANNI on Instagram. Definitely support this indoor grown limited batch legacy to legal operator. You guys, Franklin, I appreciate your time. Thank you again for everything, man. It was a
Appreciate you, King.
pleasure. I look forward to
Thank you,
meeting you
brother.
in person, my friend,
Yeah,
and
that's
to
gonna be
getting to
good
smoke the
energy.
weed with you and just getting to see what it's like being out there with y'all, man. I don't know when I'm gonna be out there in New York again, but we're definitely gonna figure that out. And I'll definitely touch base with you here soon about that. All right,
I might be coming to Cali soon too, bro. So like we're
come
gonna see
on,
each other either way. We're gonna see
yeah.
each other way. So I'm looking forward to like, and another thing that looking forward to having my business partners on, bro. If we had good conversation, oh then
We're
these
gonna have a
two,
good one with them too,
uh
and
yeah.
we could also too. They're more than welcome, to join from different places, whatever everyone's schedule
Okay,
works like. We can do
okay,
multiple people on this to have
all
guests.
right.
It's cool to have a little round table and chop it up.
Yeah,
All of
we
us
gotta
smoking
talk.
whatever it is. Yeah, yeah,
We gonna
absolutely.
talk. We gonna talk. We gonna
Come on,
talk. And then
I'll
when we
tap in
send
with
you
you soon.
something,
Come on,
yeah,
man.
maybe
Episode
say we
9,
smoking at the same
everybody.
time, like a book review.
Thousand
Just
percent. It's
saying.
super easy. We do a lot of these shows pretty often, and so some of these we have multiple guests on them, and it works out beautifully. I love
That's
it's dope to
beautiful.
have multiple perspectives and to hear the different stories and to hear people also just share their passion in real time together. I think that's something that we can all really feel and appreciate that together. So. Big shout out to our sponsors again for the opportunity to have these
All
discussions.
them
Big shout out to
trees.
Indi Cannabis and what they've created. Big shout out to the New York cannabis voters who've voted and approved for the illegal
Shout
adult
out to
use
y'all.
cannabis
Shout out
because
to
that
y'all.
ultimately provides this space and a potential pathway for young entrepreneurs, older entrepreneurs, medium entrepreneurs to just do potentially what their thing is, which could be growing cannabis. Maybe it's selling weed, maybe it's logistics,
And
maybe
it's
it's building a
and
team, maybe it's
middleman.
HR, maybe it's accounting, maybe it's whatever the hell they want to do in the world of business,
Exactly.
but it
Yeah.
just has a cannabis attachment to it. Because of that, we have this New York space and this culture, this community all growing together. Big shout out to that. Big shout out to you guys and everybody watching. Thank you guys again. We'll see you on the next episode.
Appreciate you, fam.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
soon.
Love you.